A Guide to the Good Life by William B. Irvine. Plan for existence. The fundamental aspiration in existence stands as the primary element of a life philosophy. Without a profound life aim, a well-structured life philosophy remains absent. Comprising the secondary facet of a life philosophy is a tactic for accomplishing your profound life aim. This tactic will outline the necessary steps to be taken during your daily engagements, enhancing the likelihood of acquiring your personally esteemed life objective. Comparable to how medicinal treatment holds no value if it fails to eliminate bodily ailments. Likewise, philosophy holds no value if it doesn't alleviate mental distress. Although ancient, the Stoic life philosophy warrants consideration from contemporary individuals aspiring to cultivate a life replete with significance and contentment, those who truly desire to lead a commendable life. Lesson 1. The emergence of Stoicism. Regardless of the specific life philosophy an individual ultimately adopts, their life is likely to be enhanced compared to those who attempt to navigate life without a coherent philosophy guiding them, which many people often do. The pursuit of virtue leads to a sense of tranquility, subsequently facilitating an easier path towards further virtue. Lesson 2. Techniques of the Stoic mind. Exploring the negative scenarios. What's the worst that could occur? Living each day as though it might be our last seamlessly extends from the negative visualization approach. Throughout our daily routines, we should occasionally pause and recognize that our time is finite, making the present day a potential last. This contemplation, rather than pushing us toward hedonism, fosters an appreciation for the present life and the opportunities it presents. By actively contemplating the potential loss of what we hold dear, we can rekindle our gratitude and, in doing so, rejuvenate our capacity for experiencing happiness. In essence, negative visualization teaches us to embrace our current circumstances and extract maximum contentment from them. Simultaneously, it readies us for the inevitability of change that might separate us from the sources of our present happiness. The art of invisibility. When the pursuit of contentment is at hand, the path of least resistance involves reshaping oneself and one's desires rather than attempting to reshape the external world. By internalizing objectives within one's daily life, a Stoic individual can uphold their tranquility even when confronted with situations only partially within their control. The fear of failure is deeply intertwined with psychology, making it unsurprising that by readjusting our psychological perspective toward failure through careful selection of our goals, we can influence the extent to which we fear it. A dedicated practitioner of Stoicism will consistently bear in mind the trichotomy of control throughout their daily affairs. They will sort the elements of their life into three distinct categories: those fully within their control, those partially controllable, and those entirely beyond control. Elements falling within the second category, those with no control, will be set aside as unworthy of worry, effectively sparing needless anxiety. Instead, attention will be focused on matters within complete or partial control. When dealing with the latter, the emphasis will be on internal objectives over external ones, effectively sidestepping considerable frustration and disappointment. Fatalism. Releasing the past and the present moment. Authority over the past and even the immediate present moment eludes this. Therefore, expending energy on distress related to past or present events is an exercise in futility. Stoic philosophy, while fostering contentment with one's current state, also advocates for the pursuit of specific aspects in life. Self-denial. Confronting the shadows of pleasure. In addition to contemplating adverse scenarios, there is value in periodically living as though those scenarios have materialized. Experiencing only comfort can lead to distress when inevitably faced with discomfort or pain. Someone who regularly encounters minor discomforts cultivates confidence in enduring greater challenges in the future. ultimately reducing present-day anxiety. Without self-control, the allure of life's pleasures can easily divert us, hindering the achievement of the goals set by our life philosophy. While the average person embraces pleasure, the sage exercises restraint while the ordinary individual views pleasure as the ultimate good. The sage considers it far from virtuous, and while the common person pursues everything for the sake of pleasure, the sage abstains. Through consistent practice of Stoic self-denial techniques, practitioners can transform themselves into individuals distinguished by their courage and self-discipline. They will fearlessly undertake tasks that others avoid and refrain from actions that others find irresistible. Meditation. Observing our Stoic practice. To elevate our practice of Stoicism, Seneca suggests occasional contemplation of daily events, our responses to them, and how, in alignment with Stoic principles, our reactions should ideally align. Lesson 3. Stoic Counsel. Duty. Embracing humanity. Upon introspection, we grasp that our fellow humans are fountains of some of life's profoundest joys, be it love or friendship. Simultaneously, they often act as triggers for the negative emotions we bear. Inherent in human nature is a social inclination, imposing upon us the responsibility to forge and uphold relationships, regardless of potential challenges. Throughout history and diverse cultures, those who contemplate desire converge on the realization that ceaseless pursuit of desires seldom ushers in happiness or tranquility. Social connections. Navigating human relationships as companions, we should ally ourselves with those who share our principles, particularly those who excel in embodying these values. A true Stoic evades excessive preoccupation with others' perceptions, addressing them only when the common good necessitates it. Insults. Resilience in the face of demeaning words. Stoics crafted methods to safeguard themselves from the sting of insults. Strategies aimed at diluting the potency of offense. One such strategy involves pausing upon an insult and reflecting on its validity. Seneca queries, why does a truth translate to an insult? Another approach entails evaluating the insulter's level of knowledge. A formidable technique lies in contemplating the source of the insult. If the source commands respect, their criticisms lose their bite. Essentially, Stoics stress the recognition that the pain accompanying insults originates within ourselves, not from external sources. It's not the events themselves, but our judgments about them, that perturb us. Responding with laughter implies a lack of seriousness toward the insulter and their barbs. While humor communicates our disregard, abstaining from a reaction suggests indifference to the insulter's existence. Grief. Thoughtful management of sorrow. While eradicating grief may elude us, we can adopt measures to mitigate its impact over time. Through retrospective negative visualization, we envisage life devoid of something we've lost, swapping regret for gratitude for its past presence. Anger. Conquering negative emotions. Permitting anger to arise from trifles morphs minor disruptions into overwhelming turmoil. Shaping our perspective to find amusement in setbacks transforms potential frustration into a wellspring of humor. Residing amidst flawed individuals, tranquility prevails only when we consent to be lenient with each other. Given the choice between anti-joy and joy, the latter wields superior influence. Personal values. Reconsidering fame. Stoics argue that the expense of fame overshadows its benefits by a substantial margin. Preserving our freedom mandates indifference to others' opinions. Consistency in this indifference ensures that we remain impervious to approval, as much as to criticism. Before aspiring to others' admiration, we must gauge whether their concept of success aligns with ours. Acknowledge that many, including friends and family, might secretly harbor a desire for your failure due to the discomfort your success could evoke. Personal values regarding extravagant living. The Stoics hold in great esteem their capacity to relish the simple aspects of life, indeed, their ability to unearth sources of contentment, even within primitive circumstances. Individuals who attain opulent lifestyles seldom experience contentment. Luxurious indulgence merely serves to intensify their yearning for more extravagance. When we encounter desires, it's prudent to pause and discern whether they stem from natural inclinations or arise artificially. In the case of the latter, it's wise to reconsider the pursuit of their satisfaction. Exile. Navigating transitions of place. True richness lies in the mind it accompanies us even in exile, thriving in the most remote wilderness. There, it discovers all that the body requires for sustenance, and in this discovery, the mind overflows with the enjoyment of its own treasures. Confronting the move to a nursing home. The drawback of neglecting the development of a purposeful life philosophy, squandering the singular life we possess. Rather than inducing melancholy, the proximity of death can be transformed into an asset. During our youth, the assumption of eternal life led us to take our days for granted, resulting in their misuse. However, in our later years, each morning's awakening can be a cause for jubilation. Dying culminating a life well lived. An individual guided by a coherent life philosophy comprehends the elements of life that carry significance. Having dedicated time to pursuing these valuable aspects, they likely have achieved them to the best of their capacity. Consequently, when their time to depart arrives, they won't feel deprived. Stoics contemplate their own mortality not out of a yearning for death, but out of a desire to extract the utmost fulfillment from life. Embarking on Stoicism. Commence now, and prepare for ridicule. The primary incentive for embracing a life philosophy is the risk of misliving. If we lack one, running the danger of dedicating ourselves to pursuits devoid of true value, or engaging in meaningful pursuits through imprudent means, consequently failing to achieve them. Stoics strive to derive contentment from things immune to deprivation, with their character being the foremost example. Mastering the art of deriving pleasure without assuming entitlement or fostering attachment remains imperative. Through their adeptness at savoring readily attainable or inherently lasting joys, Stoics discover abundant sources of enjoyment in life. Lesson 4. Stoicism in the modern age. The erosion of Stoic principles. Stoics held a dual belief in societal reform and personal transformation. Primarily, they posited that the initial phase of societal change lies in teaching individuals to minimize their dependence on external circumstances for happiness. Subsequently, the second phase involves altering these external circumstances. While others may wield the ability to influence your manner of living, the Stoics argue that no one possesses the capacity to ruin your life. The potential for ruin resides within your actions, specifically your failure to align with proper values. Instead of indulging every desire, focus should be on preventing certain desires from arising and eliminating those that have formed. Rather than perpetually craving new possessions, the emphasis should shift to valuing what's already possessed. Rethinking Stoicism. Self-awareness is paramount. Observing ourselves in our daily routines and intermittently contemplating our responses to the day's events. Reasoning becomes a tool to counter negative emotions, leading us to recognize that pursuits like fame and fortune hold minimal value in the pursuit of tranquility. We ought to relish wealth while simultaneously maintaining detachment, even pondering its potential loss. As social beings, we're bound to experience misery if we sever connections with others. Thus, to attain tranquility, relationships must be formed and upheld. However, interacting with others introduces the likelihood of disturbance to our tranquility due to their inherent annoying tendencies. Stoics pinpoint to core sources of human discontent: our instability and our inclination to fret over uncontrollable factors. They offer techniques to extricate these from our lives. To conquer instability, Stoics advocate negative visualization, urging us to ponder the transient nature of all things. To counter our propensity to worry about the uncontrollable, they suggest categorizing aspects of life into those entirely beyond our control, those within our absolute control, and those within partial control. When dealing with partially controllable factors, internalizing goals becomes crucial. Understanding that past events and current circumstances lie beyond our control, anger or distress over them becomes fruitless. Our susceptibility to suffering is an evolutionary heritage, although our reasoning ability also emerged unintentionally, granting us a tool to mitigate this suffering. Through reason, we can comprehend our evolutionary predicament and actively work to alleviate it. The universality of philosophy. No single philosophy of life fits everyone, and there exist philosophies that are inadvisable to adopt. In most cases, adopting an imperfect philosophy is still preferable to living devoid of one. Practicing Stoicism. By discreetly practicing Stoicism, you can reap its benefits while sidestepping the mockery of friends, family, colleagues, and neighbors. Mastery doesn't demand simultaneous adoption of all Stoic techniques. Instead, start with one, become proficient, then proceed to the next. After mastering negative visualization, focus on mastering the trichotomy of control. Regularly internalizing your goals can alleviate the distress stemming from perceived goal failures. Allowing anger in response to annoyances is counterproductive, acting as a barrier to tranquility. Without self-discipline, life's course becomes dictated by external forces, risking a mislived existence. Key takeaways from A Guide to the Good Life: The Ancient Art of Stoic Joy. 1. Philosophy of life. Having a clear life philosophy prevents wasting time and pursuing goals wrongly. 2. Internal tranquility. Stoics focus on inner contentment, reducing reliance on external circumstances. 3. Virtues over possessions. Inner virtues like wisdom and self-discipline are valued more than material wealth. 4. Curbing desires. Limit desires, appreciate what you have, and avoid endless wants. 5. Self-reflection. Regularly observe thoughts, actions, and align them with Stoic principles. 6. Rational emotion control. Use reasoning to manage negative emotions and fame material desires. 7. Negative visualization. Imagine loss to appreciate and prepare for life's challenges. 8. Control categories. Categorize events as controllable, uncontrollable, or partially so to manage reactions. 9. Anger avoidance. Avoid anger and emotional turbulence for clarity and peace. 10. Challenges as growth. Embrace challenges as learning opportunities. 11. Relationship balance. Cultivate relationships while managing annoyances. 12. Mortality reflection. Contemplate mortality to appreciate life's value. 13. Modern adaptation. Apply Stoic principles to modern life for fulfillment. 14. Incremental mastery. Master one Stoic technique before moving to another. 15. Individual life philosophy. Choose a fitting philosophy aligned with values. 16. Self-discipline. Develop self-control for a directed life. In short, A Guide to the Good Life introduces Stoic principles for contentment, rationality, and purpose in modern life.